It says, yeah, you're up.
Welcome, everybody, to the Arguments Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Herbie Sachs, here with Kyle Switzer. Let's get right to it, Switzer. We're going to have a big show today. First inaugural show. You excited?
Inaugural show. I'm very excited about it. This is very exciting.
I'm pumped. So today on the show, we're going to talk about Lee's team. The terrible towel is my freaking messages. I'm sorry about these messages. I don't know.
Very unprofessional, Herb. I'm really disappointed.
Well, it's on my computer. I don't have my phone near me. I don't have my phone. Anyways, the terrible towel is the terrible towel. The team to beat right now. They're looking pretty good. That's the first topic. After that, we're gonna get down to the team Juicef. Maybe looking at an 0-6 or an 0-13 season. Terrible start for them. And then we're going to get to Herbie's Heroes, my favorite team.
Number one team.
They're my number one. And the return of Tom Brady, how much of a contender are they? And finally, we will get to the No Thrills Football Company's crash and burn this year. Is the dynasty done? We'll get to all that. But like I said, let's start Lee's team, the terrible towel. What do you think about the terrible towel? Are they the team to beat, Switzer?
I think that the terrible towels are the team to beat this year. Like, I'm facing Lee this week. I'm facing the terrible towels, and I'm looking at trades with Master earlier in the week to improve my team. And I'm like, we're not together on it, and I'm not sure what to do. And I just said, you know what? Screw it. Like, I'm probably not going to win anyway. Like, what's the point in like pulling the trigger on this deal if it's not going to like massively impact my team this week? I can wait a week because I'm going to lose. Like, back-to-back 160-point weeks is pretty absurd. And then the quarterback who throws it to him, you're obviously at a great advantage, right?
Yeah, well, they're definitely a great team. I think that the wide receiver core is outstanding, and the running backs are outstanding. But really the downfall I see with the team is the depth. I don't see much coming off the bench. You got Asiata and James Starks off the bench. I guess Asiata's been pretty good without Adrian Peterson, but not.
Yeah, but look up and down any team in the pool and tell me they have depth.
Oh,
right. I mean, like, there are a few teams in the pool that have some outstanding bench players that they picked up along the way. But I mean, depth is relative, I think, in this pool. Like, there's not much depth to any team.
Much, but if you look at his team, if the Steelers have a down week,
true,
he's in trouble. See, the big thing.
I mean, everything's been clicking, right? Like,
yeah, his team hinges on the Steelers being good. We've seen teams before. We saw a perfect team in this pool. I think it might have been Ropage, who had Tom Brady and won. He won every week for the whole pool, and then in the first week of the playoffs, the Patriots laid a dud, and he lost.
No, you're right. You can go back. Like, it's that way. You can go back like even further. Like, I can remember, obviously, from personal experience. I remember I had when he set the touchdown record like 10 years ago, and he laid it that. The only reason I was in the finals was one player just excelling, or if like I had the same thing. I had Adrian Peterson this 2,000-yard season. Same deal. And if they don't perform in the finals, then you're hoofed, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, so it'll be interesting with him. He did suffer a loss. I'm not exactly sure who. I should have done some research, but I woke up like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's okay. I was like, I'm barely with us. I was thinking also for those people that are watching on the live stream, you can comment on the show page. And we'll see. Maybe we can. I'm going to try to do this. Maybe we can take questions at some point here.
That would be
awesome.
From
our live audience near the end.
From the live audience.
Our live audience can ask us questions. Perhaps I'm working on it as we speak to see if I can do that. I don't know that I'll be able to, but I'm going to try. Yeah, you got to try to take things from the live audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I don't know. Do you have anything to add on Lou's team? I don't know. I'm looking at it like I have it right in front of me, and difference between like that's what makes teams is like hitting lightning in a bottle with a guy like Michael Crabtree.
Yeah. Well, Crab's been good, and he's been good, but he's been good. He's been good as a Raider throughout. He was good last year too. So he didn't really go nowhere.
Not as good as like I don't think it. I think it would be an overstatement to say he's been like he's good for a few touchdowns a week at this point.
Yeah, yeah. But it's all that team's all about Roethlisberger and Brown.
That's right. But I'm saying like, but that's not why he's putting up 160.
No,
he's putting up 160 points because he's getting 20 points a piece from 6 guys.
Hilton, Brown.
Exactly. Like if you have one good combination of players, like that's not what gets you to doing that, right? Like I don't know if you look at it. I'm trying to pull up like the matchups. So his like point totals like every week. So we can like so last week was 158. The week before is like the most messed up thing in the pool where Raptors loses to him with 144 points.
The guy lost with the greatest duo of all time. With Matt
and Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. But Raptors this was the reason I wanted to do this podcast was because of Rapids' team losing this week with 140 that week, like 2 weeks ago, 144 points he loses, and like Shaq wins with 92, Rams, Herbie's Heroes wins with 99. 3 teams win with less than 100 points, and he loses with 144. That's what like made me think like we have to do this.
I was watching PTI, a show. This is somewhat inspired by PTI. This show, with no, but I was watching PTI, and someone's like, I think it was Tony. It's like, if you had one of those guys on your fantasy team, you won your week, right? You had to have won your week, unless your team is just absolute garbage. You had to. Rapids had both of them been lost.
Yeah, he had both, but I mean, his team's not garbage.
No, it's not. It's just
like I guess to take it to a different topic. I guess like without going too far off the beaten path. Like if Rapids' team is still a good team, right?
Yeah, it is a good team. It is good. He suffered the wrath of.
Although if you don't mind, like I think he lost that trade to Joe.
What was the trade?
So this goes back now.
He traded his entire bench for Randall Cobb.
Yeah, was it his entire bench? Is that why? I guess that's why it worked out for him because he wasn't starting. He wasn't starting it.
It was
starting Vincent Jackson. That was one of the guys he got in that trade.
Joe is or Rapids?
No, Rapids.
Well, Randall Cobb had a pretty good week the week after.
Yeah, he got Vincent Jackson, Bortles, and Cobb, and he traded away Stafford, Gio Bernard, and Juan Goldman. So I guess because he wasn't starting Gio to him.
Yeah. Similar to my trade.
I looked at that trade.
My trade this week. I
looked at that trade and I was just like, that doesn't make a lot of sense for Rapids. I guess he got Cobb, it makes sense, but he starts Vincent Jackson too now, and like Vincent Jackson's shit.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he is. He has not been very
good.
Okay. No, I agree. Vincent Jackson's not very good, but I think the trade was fully to get.
It made sense for him.
Did you see I started the worst receiving core in the history of the pool last week, and I got 140.
Okay, I see. He just started Vincent Jackson because of like injuries and bye weeks, but he's not starting him this week. Now his wide receivers are Julio Jones, Calvin Benjamin, and Randall Cobb, which is pretty dynamite.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Last week, the Herbie's Heroes started Danny Amendola, Devontae Adams, and Tavon Austin.
It's a little bit of a difference.
Put up 144 points.
That's the point, right? Like that's how the week before, like that. So I didn't start a tight end. I was like, fuck it, I'm playing Joe's team. I'm not starting a tight end, and I won with 127 points.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Well, yeah, I won 2 weeks with Rob Gronkowski making one catch for a combined 11 yards in those 2 weeks. So that stuff happens.
That's the beauty of fantasy. Okay. All right. I say we move on.
Joe's team.
What?
Speaking of Joe's team.
You ready to move on?
Yeah. Speaking of Joe's team, Team Joseph, 0-5 to start the year. Worst. I think he has the worst point total in the pool. 407.
Oh, yeah. He's the worst point total by like 60 points.
Yeah, 407 points for the next most is 452 from Team Yasta.
So 400 points over 8 weeks is like 80 points a week average or something.
No one else in the pool has under 500 points.
Ugh.
So Yasta and Jusuf are struggling mightily. But Jusuf in particular, probably time to throw in the towel. I mean, 0-5, you'd have to win 7.
Oh, it's not the question. The question is not whether or not he's going to make the playoffs.
No, I know, but you'd have to win 7 of the remaining 8 weeks to have a chance, and with that record, you need a huge high point total. So he's got to go in.
I mean, he's not winning. He more likely has to win out to make the playoffs. But like I said, I don't think that's the question here. The question is, will he win one game all year? That's the question. Do we have our first winless team on our hands? Like last year, Gray came pretty close to becoming the first undefeated team, if I'm not mistaken. And this year, I think we have look at Joe's team and tell me you don't think there's a good chance he doesn't win a game.
I think he'll win a game this year. I think he's got, you're gonna 1 week put up a guy like Will Fuller will catch like 3 touchdowns or something. See, he'll have a big week somewhere down the line, and he'll play someone who is not going to have a big week.
Yeah, it's obviously like he has a chance. Like he probably has one of his best chance to win this week, like facing the fear bonus who starts like Tate and Sterling Shepard at wide receiver this week, and like Lamar Miller, who's been shit, and like some of these guys. So like I guess like this is a week that he would have a chance to win. Yeah,
and they only got
Phil Rivers with shit.
Rivers had a bad game. Rivers had a bad game. So it's open. It's open for the taking for Joe this week. I'll take him. I'll take Joe this week.
You'll take Joe this week? I'm not gonna. Okay, should we bet on
the segment with bold predictions? That's what we should do. Right?
Oh, we can make a bold prediction segment. I like that. Do we want to make a game and what the over under? Like, do you want to make like an over under on 1.5 wins this year? I'll take the under.
Yeah, I'll take the over.
You'll take the over. I'm gonna take the under.
I don't know if I'll take the over. Take the push. He'll have a tie.
I would like to see if we could get. I'm going to try to do this. Maybe a couple of things. Let's try to create a poll. Can we create a poll on the message board still? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Can we create a poll on the message board? I'm going to try to post it right now as we talk. I can do. Of who we over under 1.5 for weigh in on this.
You got to chat, but I got what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I'll post it right after.
You're gonna post it? Okay.
Yeah,
You'll post it after the show's done? Okay. Sounds like a plan. I'll look forward to people's feedback. 1.5 wins for Team Joseph. I'm gonna take the under. I really don't see it. Joe last night. Okay, so Joe actually wanted feedback. So maybe you can. He was asking me about this. He was hoping that we could have this on the show. Maybe some people could post their opinions. But he's stuck. He wants to start the Tennessee defense versus Cleveland, but he has Seattle defense versus Atlanta.
You have to start Tennessee defense.
You have to?
Yeah. Atlanta's the best offensive team in the league.
I know, but are you starting? But aren't you starting the defense that you drafted to be your defense and like is like a good defense as opposed to Tennessee defense, which is not a good defense?
The only team that might not win a game this year besides Team Joseph is the Cleveland Browns.
Not if Terrell Pryor has anything to say about it.
I love Terrell Pryor. He's my favorite player.
He's your favorite?
He's my favorite player. He's so cool.
He's so cool. That's why you like him?
Yeah, so humble.
Oh, right. Okay. You don't like him for his skills. You like him like as a person. That's
Well, for his skill, that's what makes him cool.
okay. That's
He was a terrible quarterback. He became a wide receiver, and now he's sick. And now we
is
have.
Terrell Pryor the kind like you want to go for a beer with him? You want to hang out with him? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, I want to ask him what his journey was like, and
Mhm.
where his mindset was in those years where he down in the dumps after failing as a quarterback, and his.
You want him? You want to make him the children?
Sorry, make him what?
You want to make him the godfather to your future children?
Yeah, that'd be sick. Will that get him at my wedding and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. I love Terrell Pryor.
I didn't know about this love affair you have with Terrell Pryor. I think that's amazing.
It started week 1 this year.
Bandwagoner is what you're trying to say.
Oh, I'm a huge bandwagoner when it comes to Terrell Pryor. Only Terrell Pryor.
We are way off the beaten path.
Well, we got it.
Like
We got into the Browns. Anyways, yeah, Joe's got to start Tennessee.
So you would say he has to start Tennessee defense. It's very interesting.
Must start.
He must start the Tennessee defense. Interesting. He also was looking at Cole Beasley versus who was the other person he was thinking about starting? I don't remember. His team's so shitty. Look on his bench, like why would he start any of these other people? It's a terrible team. I take him to lose this week. I take him to go under 1.5 wins for the season. And
start Pierre Garcon this week. You should start Pierre Garcon over Cole Beasley.
That's what I said. I said Pierre Garcon. He was between him and someone else. I was like, what about Pierre Garcon? But Cole Beasley's been
had a good week last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he could very well. I think he'll win 1 for sure. I don't know about 2.
So what would you put the percentage chance that he doesn't win a game at?
20%.
20% chance he doesn't win a game?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's probably fair. I think that's probably pretty fair. I like this. We'll look back on this. I think this is a good season long.
This one's not going to take long. At the end of today, we're gonna be like, "Yep, Joe got the W."
Okay, all right. I look forward to seeing where people like weigh in on this.
Yeah, I think he'll get a win about it.
Anybody's or not.
Sorry.
So I'm curious to see if anybody agrees with you. I'm curious to see if people agree more with you or with me on this. That he'll win this week or lose this week.
Oh yeah, well that's going on a limb there. He's terrible. I just think it's possible.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, on to the heroes.
All right.
Herbie's heroes started the season 0-2, 3 big weeks in a row. Well, not really big weeks, but 3 big wins in a row.
Nice.
Last week, Tom Brady comes back, has a 400-yard, 3-touchdown game. Gronkowski looks like Gronkowski. Herbie's heroes on the up and up. Are they a contender? Serious contender, or with the lack of receiving?
Contender or pretender?
Yeah, there you go. That's the
Herbie's heroes.
I'll go
put that on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, we need a ticker.
I think that the Herbie's heroes are contenders. I feel like the Herbie's heroes were in the exact same boat as the real New England Patriots. They just had to go 2-2 without Brady.
The real Patriots went 3-1, but I'll take the 2-2.
No, I understand that, and they overperformed. What I'm saying, at the beginning of the season, if you told the real New England Patriots or the Herbie's heroes that they were going to go 2-2 without Brady, both teams would have been ecstatic.
Yeah, very happy about it, especially after the first 2 weeks for the heroes because they were real bad.
Losses.
I thought.
I guess the question for me is, who are your wins over, and who do you have yet to play?
Well,
you know what I mean?
I beat Simon.
That doesn't say much.
Which isn't tough. Last
No, songless team. I just don't think he's gonna lose them all. So I didn't figure we had to talk about it.
he started the season as classic O-Dog, putting up huge point totals and losing, and then that changed to just being bad.
It was when he lost in that just like insane Monday Night Football finish, like where he got screwed, and then it was as if his team just like they needed to have like a players only meeting or something. Like they couldn't get it together after that.
The wins don't say much about Herbie's heroes.
Yeah, who are your other wins over?
No Thrills, O-Dog, and Ram Zone. So Ram Zone's okay.
Well, how many wins does Ram Zone have?
They're a decent team.
How many wins do they have? That's the question.
3-2.
They're 3-2. So that means that those 3 wins are the teams that are against the teams with a combined record of what is it, 4-11?
Yeah, not good.
Not good. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Herbie's heroes are pretending.
They're coming off an 144-point week, second most of the pool last week. So
true enough. But 1 week doesn't make a champion.
But what you spoke about depth earlier when we were talking about Lee's team.
So you think you're strong depth?
The one team
is that what you're about to tell me?
Depth. Tevin Coleman is outstanding on the bench. Carlos Hyde and DeMarco
guy to have on your bench.
The 3 great running backs. The wide receivers all suck, but they all suck equally. There's like 7 pretty borderline guys.
Yeah, those 3 wide receivers that you started last week, none of them. Wow.
Yeah. All on my bench this week.
And you have Dez waiting in the wings.
And Dez is there, but he hasn't. Him and Dak never really looked on the same page so far this year. So.
Yeah, I guess so. It's like
DeMarco Murray's looking like an MVP. Guy's amazing.
It's true.
Guy's amazing.
It's not untrue. Can we get Ryan Sachs's opinion on DeMarco Murray?
I'm sure he'll tell you he loves DeMarco Murray.
It's very high on DeMarco Murray.
As he loves the owner of the Titans, Amy.
Okay, yeah, he loves everything Titans. I just thought, but you know what? We can't let him get too close to the pool. He could ruin it.
He could trade Matt Hasselbeck for Jamal Charles and get ripped on for it. Possibly
good times.
Possibly the greatest trade in the history of the pool, and he was ridiculed for it.
10 years ago?
Yeah. He traded Matt Hasselbeck for a guy that went in the top 3 of drafts for the next 6 years.
How many years ago was that?
It was Jamal Charles's rookie year.
Jeez, it's a long time ago. It lives on in infamy in the arguments pool.
Yeah, the No Thrills Football Company wasn't a fan of that trade.
The No Thrills Football Company, he's pretty classic. I mean, I'm actually ready. I would be ready to move on to the grease fire that is the No Thrills Football Company.
Yeah, they've been struggling this year. Top pick, who they draft?
They drafted the number 1. Did he trade the number 1 pick? Was that the deal? Yeah, he traded it to Lee, right?
He traded number 1 and Antonio.
Which I never understood. He traded from 1 to like 10.
He moved up in the 7th or 8th round.
Yeah, for what? It's like, why? And I remember I was talking trade with him because I think I had 8th pick, and I was like, bro, like I would talk about it. Like I don't know that I want to do it, but I'd talk about it. And he's like, your pick doesn't align with my.
Well, a guy.
What does that even mean?
I think he wanted 10 to be closer to the end of the draft, so he could get 2 in the top.
That's crazy. I don't know. I thought it was crazy. He didn't get enough for that pick.
No, probably.
And the team is trash.
No, his team.
What? Actually, here's some breaking news.
Worse than Team Joseph, to my eyes. Besides in my opinion.
Actually, you might be right. You might be right. His team is.
It's a worse team. But he has Aaron Rodgers, which is nice. But
we have some breaking news here. Breaking news music.
I don't have any music.
Oh, you don't have breaking news music? Come on.
Next show, I'll cue it up.
Okay, right now at 11:38 Eastern time. even though he's been inactive for many days now, Steve Smith Sr. is still in the North Wales Football Company starting lineup.
That's the breaking news?
That's the breaking news.
It's not really breaking. I'm sure he was in the lineup earlier today.
Will he adjust his starting lineup? That's the question.
The breaking news will be when Devin Funchess is his starting wide receiver today. Devin Funchess.
Bunches and bunches, bro. Bunches and bunches.
Funchess and Bunches has a combined, 16.9 points in 5 weeks this year.
Wow, he's solid.
And he's coming off his second bagel of the year without a target.
You actually might be right about this. When does Team Jusef play the North Wales Football Company? That's the question.
That's going to be a huge matchup.
Because that's gonna be Team Jusef's best chance at a win. Because
honestly, outside of Aaron Rodgers and Greg Olsen, he has nothing. He has nothing.
Marshall.
Oh, Jimmy Graham's been good, but so he has two
But he's 3 tight ends. He has 3 tight ends on his team too. He's been carrying 3 tight ends all year. I tried to talk trade with him when I had that week that I didn't start a tight end. I tried to talk trade with him. He was playing hardball with me. I'm like, I don't want it. I offered him Demarius Thomas for Greg Olsen.
Fair trade.
I thought so. I thought that was very reasonable.
Yeah.
He's like, no. He's like, I'll do it for Jimmy Graham.
Well, at that time, that's ridiculous.
Crazy. It's crazy 2 weeks ago.
Dennis Pitta, though. He has Greg Olsen and Jimmy Graham. He's just carrying Dennis Pitta for the Ravens' allegiance.
I told him when I looked at his team, I'm like, you want to start Pitta. I know that's what you want.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy Graham at the time was playing terribly. I'm like, I know you want to start Pitta. Let's talk deal here and let's get Olsen onto my team. And he played hardball with me. And I'm like, for what? So you can carry 3 tight ends? Who carries 3 tight ends? It's crazy.
I carried 3 tight ends until this week. I traded one. But I only had 3 because Gronk was out the first 2 weeks. And
then still, then why would you need a third?
Ertz got hurt.
Who got hurt?
Week 2, I had no Zach Ertz and no Gronk.
I have Zach Ertz on my team. What are you talking about?
You do?
Yeah, what are you talking about? You don't even know your own team?
I'm in a lot of people, man.
Zach Ertz is on my team.
Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph.
I picked him up. I can't remember why.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I had Charles Clay also. I don't know. I traded.
That's what I'm trying to say. There's no good reason for carrying 3 tight ends.
Unless one of them's hurt, which is why I had 3.
You have a good platform here to discuss your trade that you made this week.
Yeah. Do you have any questions about it?
I'm just curious. Like, it didn't seem. It's like a nothing trade, right?
Pretty much a nothing trade. I needed some wide receiver depth. My receivers are crap.
You didn't trade anybody you play. Will he play any of those guys?
I didn't trade a starter. I traded Dalton and Clay.
Mm-hmm.
And I told John before the trade to pick up Bradford, and I'd make the deal. So I have a backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, I don't need Clay at all. As you said, as
we've been discussing, there's no good reason to carry 3 tight ends.
And unless Tom Brady gets hurt, Bradford's going to start 1 week for the rest of the year. So I didn't need Dalton either. So yeah, I thought it made sense.
Interesting. I think it's been real. I wanted to keep this to about a half an hour. I think that's basically where we're at right now.
Yeah, we're done the topics. We'll one thing I forgot to say about I can't even remember now. I just thought about it 2 seconds ago, but it's gone. It's gone.
It's gone. Well, it's a good sign. Herbie is gonna post the over under 1.5 wins for Team Jusef. We'll look forward to hearing your opinions on that. Is there anything else before we wrap up here, Herb?
Bold predictions.
Say that again.
Bold predictions.
Oh, bold predictions.
My bold predictions.
Bold predictions. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start. Week 6 bold prediction. Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
versus the LA Rams. Bless my heart. Matthew Stafford will throw for 367 yards and 4 touchdowns en route to the Team Juice's first win of the season.
Okay, that makes it a bold prediction. I was wondering if it's a bold prediction because you're giving an exact yard total. 367.
Well, I decided to be real bold.
That's bold, like an exact number.
Give or take like 9 yards. 367.
Okay.
I hope that doesn't happen. I hope he throws 0 touchdowns.
Right, because that's the team. What kind of bold prediction should I make? I'm looking at the matchups. I'm trying to pull up the matchups here. Bold prediction. Bold prediction. I'm gonna predict. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna predict that one team will score less than 60 points this week, and one team will score more than 200.
Wow. So Team Gray, Team No Throws Football Company, under 60.
And let's hope not the terrible towel over 200.
Terrible towel over 200. That's probably what we're talking about. Anyways,
right. Herb, it's been a pleasure, buddy.
That was the Arguments Fantasy Football podcast, kind of podcast, not really podcast, but we could
podcast.
Is it? I guess.
I forgot to tell you to record the audio.
To record it?
I was going to get you to record the audio, and then we can post audio to go along with video on another platform, so that if you can't hear it. But I guess this one is going to be this one's going to be garbage in an hour and a half. So next time we do it, we can do that.
We'll do a recap. We'll try to do it earlier in the week, a recap of week 6. Been a pleasure.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.